Hey guys, Josh here,
And I'm Barbara.
and today we're talking to you all about Scottsdale. We decided to get a little map view going to really show you all the little details and the nitty gritty, and just where the locations and stuff to do and know about in Scottsdale are.
Yeah, we have done other videos about living in Scottsdale. We absolutely love it here. We love to share information about living in Scottsdale. But some people have said they're not quite sure where it is and where the different things are. So we wanted to just be able to share that with you. So what we need you to do is if you have any questions about anything to do with Scottsdale or actually, the whole Phoenix metro area, please give us a call. We would love to be able to chat with you and share specific information and be able to answer all of your questions.
So let's dive right into it with Scottsdale. As you can see right here, outlined in red is the city of Scottsdale. Now, as you can see, it is much taller than it is wide. It is a very long city, right? A little over 20 miles long by just about 5 or 6 miles wide. And you can see there's several little corridors in it too. As we zoom in here, you can notice it comes right down along the 101 there. And then over to the right is not Scottsdale. And the reason why it has that little cutout is that's actually the Indian reservation. That's the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community there, which cuts right into it. Now, there are a lot of things to see and do in Scottsdale. First, we're going to touch on some of the highlights here. So, starting off,
So starting off, obviously, when people come to Scottsdale, whether they're here to, you live here or you want to visit, you want to know where downtown Scottsdale is. So downtown Scottsdale is kind of centered around Scottsdale Road and between Camelback and Indian School. So that's where all the city offices are located, as well as a lot of the shopping. One of the huge shopping centers in the whole Phoenix area, as well as the whole Southwest, is that Scottsdale Fashion Square. So it kind of goes along Scottsdale Road on both sides of Camelback. So you can see that it is very, very large. It's got all the major retail brands that you can think of, all the high-end, the Nordstrom's, Coach, Prada, you name it. Just about everything that you would want to find is located at the Scottsdale Fashion Square.
now we do call downtown Scottsdale Old Town, as you can see here on the map. That is where Scottsdale originally started as its hub. And then it is also right next to the Greenbelt. So if you see here on the map, this nice green area going right along Hayden is called the Greenbelt. And as we come in on the satellite view, you can see that it starts with some golf courses. You have parks going along it. And as you can see, this gray area, usually that's nice lush green grass, but in the middle of winter, sometimes the grass dies a little bit, or in spring, but it's still a wonderful area with lots of ponds, different parks. Coming up here to just past Chaparral, there's a dog park, as well as some baseball fields. And so this area goes all the way up, basically to Shea Boulevard almost. All along here, it keeps going up, and you can see right here is also part of the Greenbelt, which is right here off of Hayden and Via Linda, going all the way to the 101 and the shopping center there at the 101. Now, Barbara, what's a nice thing about the Greenbelt there that they should know?
Well, so the cool thing about that green belt is, you can jump on up off of Shea and like 92nd Street, I think is where it starts in the north. And you can ride your bike all the way down that green belt. Or you can rollerblade, people just walk. So the cool thing is that you don't have to ever cross a busy street, and you can go all the way down to South Scottsdale and be able to, just do a lot of good exercise. So you're going to see a ton of people use that green belt, especially in the wintertime and, even in the summer, in the early morning or late evening when it's a little bit cooler. So it's great. Like Josh said, it goes by the parks and baseball fields and
It's just nice. I mean, one of the nice features of it is there's a lot of tunnels and everything. So once you get on that green belt to start biking or just walking or going down it, you don't actually have to cross any road or anything. There's always going to be a tunnel or a bridge to get you over them, which makes it very pedestrian friendly and very safe.
Yeah, and it's I forgot to say it's really good. Like if you have small children, I mean, I know when my kids were little, we used to take them along there, and it's a very safe place for them to be able to learn how to ride their bikes or learn how to rollerblade or use their skateboards, any of those things.
And now a little tip for the greenbelt is if you're up here by Old Town area and you get on over along the canal here, you can run to the canal and then down 64th. And you get down to this other canal here that follows right down here, kind of along 64th, a little bit to the east of it. And then you can wind up right at Papago Park, which is this whole area on the center left of the screen by the golf courses that you see here, which is also you're running along the canal and not on any major roads or anything like that. Although going this route, you do have one or two roads that you will need to cross, but the rest is all on great bike paths. And Papago is just outside of Scottsdale, but they do have some great stuff there, a bunch of hiking trails. So you can see they have several lakes around for you to just relax at, or you can fish at them too. There's also the Desert Botanical Garden, in addition to a golf course as well, some baseball fields, and then an executive golf
The
course.
Phoenix Zoo is down there too.
Yep, the Phoenix Zoo is right here on the screen, kind of in the bottom center of Papago. And they have all sorts of different animals, and definitely a great spot to be at. And I believe the Japanese garden is over there as well.
Yeah, and in the winter time, they have a great the holiday lights.
Yes, the light show.
Phoenix Zoo has a fantastic holiday light show.
Now, moving back, as you can see, as we mentioned before, it is very long. So starting from the bottom, as we said, you have Old Town Scottsdale along with the Greenbelt. Then moving up a little bit there, you come right here, which is the McCormick Ranch community, which next to it, you also have the Talking Stick Golf Club and the casino there as well at Talking Stick and the water park. But those are just outside the border of Scottsdale. The border is right along Pima Road here, just to the west of the 101, so just outside of it. But it is still a fantastic place that's right adjacent to Scottsdale.
Yeah, I mean, does have a Scottsdale address, so, you know, most people do think that these facilities are located within the city. You've got Salt River Fields, which is the spring training facility for the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies.
You also, Talking Stick has a wonderful golf course. They have a restaurant on the top floor of the resort as well as the casino. Top Golf is right next to it, which is kind of, I like to say, if you've never done it, it's kind of like bowling, but with golf, and then add in drinks and stuff like that, which makes golf a little more arcadey, a little more social, just to hang out and have fun. Always a good time. And then it's also next to the shopping center here, which has indoor skydiving, has go-karting, some mini golf,
Movie theater.
restaurants, department stores, kind of everything right in there.
So this whole area along the 101 that Josh is showing you has become a huge employment center. So even though it is on the Indian reservation, there are a lot of businesses that are building office buildings. McKesson has a huge facility along the 101 freeway. Because it is on the Indian reservation, the land is leased, but that doesn't seem to be stopping people from developing this whole area. So if you're looking for, great employment center, this is a great option for people.
Yep, and also I don't want to forget the Butterfly Wonderland and the museum up there as well, which is the largest aquarium in the Southwest. And the Butterfly Wonderland is also a nice little spot where you can go in there and have the butterflies fly around you. And they also have the ancient history with the dinosaur bones and everything else there. Now, Barbara, can you tell us a little bit about the McCormick Ranch? I know it's one of your favorite communities in the Scottsdale area.
It is. I love this community. So it is the oldest master planned community in Scottsdale. And what that means is the community was built so that it had employment centers, it has retail, it has parks, it has the schools, all built within the community. So you can see there's a couple of different golf courses. You've got the lakes. There's, I don't know if you want to zero in, Josh, on that school. There's a couple, there's a high school, there's a middle school, there's a elementary school, all located right within the complex. As far as housing goes within McCormick Ranch, you've got condos, there are patio homes, there are apartments, there's single family homes. Each of these little areas you can see is kind of like a different little community within McCormick Ranch. There's some of them that are gated, there's some of them that are not gated. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone. What I like about this area the most is, number one, it's very conveniently located. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to, obviously you saw it, we're downtown. You can easily get to the airport, probably 20, 30 minutes at the most during rush hour. It's close to the freeway, so you have quick access in and out to all the different areas. Obviously, we talked about the entertainment district that's located right next to McCormick Ranch. So this is a great community. A lot of people really like this area, and because it is desirable, it is a little bit on the more expensive side, though, as far as housing in the Scottsdale area.
So, as just to give you a little visualization, as Barbara said, you have one of the shopping centers right here. I'm zoomed in at now, which is right in the heart of the community. The shopping center we showed before is just outside it, but still services the southeast corner of it. You also have a shopping center right up here on the corner of Hayden and Via de Ventura, less than a mile away from the other two, with a good business center area here just to the right or to the east of Hayden. In addition to that, further up on Hayden, you have another little shopping center as well, just past Royal Palm, on Royal Palm there next to Marguerite Lake here. And then over to the left, you also have the shopping center right up here on Doubletree and Scottsdale as well, which leads right into the area just north of Doubletree. There is
Gainey Ranch.
and then along Scottsdale, you have several resorts as well. You have the McCormick, which is one of the resorts right here. You have a Hilton as well. And then also down here at Scottsdale and Indian Bend is another large shopping center. So as you can see, you have plenty of resorts around the area. There's the Scottsdale Resort right in the heart of it as well, and close to half a dozen different shopping centers, which makes one of them usually within walking distance or less than a 5 to 10 minute walk away from your home. Just makes it really nice. As she was saying, this community has one of the higher walk scores in the valley, and really helps that it's master planned to just making everything convenient and close by. Now let's move on a little bit further north, and we're going to just talk about this shopping center right here at the 101 on Shea. It's one of our major shopping centers, which there's another shopping center also at on the left-hand side of your screen here at Shea and Scottsdale Road. It's quite a large shopping center with a movie theater. Then moving back, this shopping center at Shea and the 101 is one of the largest in the Scottsdale area, which has basically everything you can think of that would be in a shopping center, from your grocery
The
stores.
big box stores. So there's a big Home Depot there. There's a big Fry's food center. There's a Home Goods. So you can see there's no shortage of shopping in the Scottsdale area.
And then Scottsdale also has numerous golf courses. It's easy to see those here on the satellite view. As you can see right up here, we have Starfire, there's Gainey, there's McCormick Ranch with their 2 courses. You have Silverado, which is this course kind of going down at an angle. You also have Camelback Golf Club here, just to the left. So it's right outside the border, just like Talcott Golf Club is also just outside the border of Scottsdale. And you also have private clubs in Scottsdale as well. Up over to the right, you have the Ancala Country Club, which has its own little golf course. Then you have the McDowell Mountain Golf Club up more towards the northeast of the valley. You have TPC Scottsdale, which is where the big Waste Management Open Tour happens every year in February. And they have 2 18-hole courses there. And then moving north, you have the private club of Silverleaf. You also have Desert Spring.
Desert.
You also have Greyhawk Country Club.
And they have two courses there at Greyhawk as well.
And they also have the Gainey Ranch, I'm sorry, DC Ranch Golf Course. And then moving even more north of that, you have Pinnacle Peak Country Club. You also, moving even further north, you have the True North as well as Desert Highlands Golf Club, Estancia Golf Club. And as you can see over to the right, you have the Scottsdale National Golf Club. And there's just so many all around this
Don't
area of
forget,
Scottsdale.
you got the boulders.
Yep, you have Boulders, Legend Trail up here.
So if golf is your thing,
Whisper
you can see
Rock.
that Scottsdale is a great place to live because we have a plethora of golf courses, both public and private. Unfortunately, most of as of the end of 2022, most of the private courses do have waiting lists for membership right now. So if you're interested in a membership, just reach out to us, and we can help guide you and tell you which courses might have any openings, or how long the waiting list might be.
Now jumping in, we're going to go off. It doesn't necessarily look like a arm of Scottsdale here on the map because it goes forward, but when we go to the satellite view, as you can see, we have a long Shea that we call it the Shea corridor going down in Scottsdale, and then we have these are the McDowell Mountains just north of it, which kind of makes it look like a bit of an arm. Now the notable things over on the Shea corridor, you have right here, you have Scottsdale Ranch with some of the waterfront living options that we have over here in Scottsdale, as well as a large park. You have more shopping centers, plenty all the way around here. We have one between Shea and Via Linda on Frank Lloyd right here with the gyms and everything. Over here on Via Linda and 124th, this is Desert Mountain High School as well as Mountainside Middle School complex with the elementary school Anasazi right up here just north on 124th for them. Now these are, Desert Mountain is a 5A school. It's one of the larger high schools in the area. But then we also, just south of 128th is the Basis High School.
Yeah, and Basis is always, or has been since it opened, it's been nationally ranked. So it's usually in the top 10 high schools in the country. So and that's a charter school. And charter schools here in Arizona, there's no fee for them. It's like a private public school, or a private school, if you will. There is usually a waiting list to get into Basis. So the high school is right there on Shea Boulevard. And then if you scroll down by 136th in Shea is the elementary school is located right here. So that starts in pre-K, and I think it goes up to like maybe 4th, 5th grade. And then starting in 5th grade, they move to the high school.
Correct. And I know it doesn't look like anything. You can just see the Basis Scottsdale looks like a house, but it was just built within the last several years. And
it takes up that whole corner.
This whole
there.
corner here. Just the maps hasn't quite updated it yet. Other things of note over on the Shea corridor is we do border Fountain Hills right along Shea there. And this main border here is along the mountains. You also have, so one of the communities over there is you have Scottsdale Mountain and Ocala are two very popular communities. And just everything around the Shea corridor is getting very popular for the schools.
Yeah, some of the things that I like about that particular area is most of the homes, I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but it is elevated. So from, even Via Linda, you can see, even if you're not up against the mountain, you can see down into the valley. There's also a lot of elevated lots, so you're up against the mountain, so you're going to have fantastic city light views and sunset views from this location. So if the backyard views is something that's important to you, I love them, so I'm all about the views. So if that's something that you're looking for, we can certainly help you find that.
Absolutely. As she mentioned, with this being elevated, all of this area down here, the reservation, doesn't have too much or really anything built on it,
Right.
which doesn't obstruct your view going down. So if you look down to the south, you'll be able to see the skyline and the city lights of Mesa. Or if you're looking over towards the west, you'll be able to see downtown Phoenix, as well as Camelback Mountain and just the overall city lights. It is a very pretty area. Now, moving a bit further north, we do have another shopping center right along the 101 in Frank Lloyd. What we do want to touch on here is the Scottsdale Airport. And the area, as you see right around it, these larger buildings, it's known as the Scottsdale Air Park. And
So that is actually one of the largest employment centers in the Phoenix metro area. So, because of its proximity to the freeway, it's easy to get to. People can fly in and out of Scottsdale Airport very easily. So it does attract a lot of smaller businesses, I would say. Like I said, that's area is very, very popular. This area is all commercial, with just a very little bit of residential starting in along Scottsdale Road.
yep, if you see all these white topped buildings here on your center of your screen, those are all going to be business buildings.
Correct.
Another thing of note right here in the area is you have the Kierland and Scottsdale Quarter. Now, Scottsdale Quarter is right over here, and it is on the corner of Scottsdale and Greenway, and to the right, Buthurst, and is bordered by Kierland Boulevard slash Greenway Hayden Loop. They changed their names as soon as they cross Scottsdale Road there, with Kierland being in technically the Phoenix area just outside the border, and Scottsdale Quarter by its name as well being in Scottsdale as well. Now, an interesting fact of this area is I wanted to just touch on 85254, which has a Scottsdale mailing address. I'm just going to pull that up so you guys can have an outline of this area here. Now, it does have a Scottsdale mailing address, and when you type it in maps, it does say Scottsdale, although it is, as you saw before, just outside the border of the Scottsdale city proper. So I want you to just pay attention if you see this line right here along Scottsdale, when I have it at 85254. Then when I go to Scottsdale, you can see that Scottsdale is going to be actually on the east side of that line, which makes it a little confusing, but
Yeah, they used to call that the magical zip code because it does have a Scottsdale mailing address, but it has City of Phoenix services and taxes. And at one point, the taxes were a little lower. So the thing that I like about this area, and actually we just moved to this area about a year ago, is the homes are older, but the homes are also on, a lot of the homes are on much larger lots. And there's no homeowners association. So what that means is, like there's a lot of properties that have gates, RV gates, so you can park your RV in your yard. Some of them even have 2 RV gates. If you're looking for something that has a larger lot, a little bit older, maybe you can, redo the home. A lot of them have already been redone. You're able to do that in this area.
absolutely. That's just showing you guys. Here's some of the photos
Yeah.
of these homes with the
So you
larger
can
lots.
see that these lots are 2 or 3 times what a typical lot would size would be in the
And to give you
Scottsdale
an
area.
idea, this community right up, this is a usual Scottsdale size lots, which are still fairly generous size with their backyards. Scrolling just down, you can just see that they're half to a quarter the size of these other larger lots. Unfortunately, in Scottsdale, with how desirable it is, as I come back over here, you just see there's not too much land that they really have. They want to get as many homes as possible in, just because it's so condensed. There are still areas in Scottsdale, plenty that have good sized yards as well. One I want to touch on real quick is these right off of Cactus. Now, a lot of these homes here are on much larger lots, and these used to all be horse properties. Although I believe there's only one still horse ranch active here. Is that correct?
I Yeah, I believe so.
But this area, you can sometimes still see horses walking down. Some people still have, a bunch of homes still have stables and some horses there. So if you are looking for that larger lot in Scottsdale, please just reach out to us. We can definitely point you in the right direction.
And as you go much further north in Scottsdale too, there's a lot of large lots up there as well with custom homes. So you can find, a home on a 4 or 5 acre lot up in far north Scottsdale.
As you can see here, these homes are on much larger lots. But
Yep.
the only downside is they are a bit further north and a bit outside of the city center. Which want to touch on real quick is we do have McCormick or McDowell Mountain over here, which is another wonderful community just off of Thompson Peak, just to the south. It is fairly close to the 101, but you're probably about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on where you are in the community, to the freeway. So it can take you a little longer to get places. They do have their ranch park and their aquatic water park here, which has a lazy river, some slides, lap pools, a wave pool. Pretty cool little area, as well as the golf course. But then now let's touch on the North Scottsdale areas.
Yeah, so in North Scottsdale, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of custom home communities. There's a few homes on the much larger lots. A lot of the golf course communities in this area, the golf courses are private. Some of them you have to be a homeowner within the community to be able to live in the community. The thing about North Scottsdale, a lot of people really like it because it's quiet. The lots are a little bit more elevated, so a lot of them have great views. What people, sometimes don't like about this area is the proximity to shopping and restaurants. So you can see it's a little bit further out. You do have to get a little bit closer in if you want a lot of choices. But if you're looking for something that's really quiet, North Scottsdale is a great option for you.
So if you are living right around the Pinnacle Peak area between Scottsdale and Pima, you do have most of the shopping centers are down this way. You have the one on the corner of Pima and Pinnacle Peak here. The other is on the corner of Scottsdale and Pinnacle Peak, which actually goes further down and is down here on the corner of Scottsdale and Deer Valley is another one. But most of the shopping centers are down in this area, with another being here on Thompson Peak and Hayden. But if we look going further up, you can see it just gets, there's not too much around this area. So you will have to make a bit of a drive. Now, don't get me wrong, there still are several shopping areas, such as up here off of Scottsdale, just north of Ashler Hills. There's a shopping center with a Target. There's a AJ's just here at Scottsdale and Lone Mountain. So they are there, but it's going to be a bit further of a drive from you. So you notice when we were in the main area of Scottsdale down here around the 101 or south of the 101 on the North Loop, you had shopping centers every mile or so you didn't have to go too far. But you're going to probably about triple or quadruple that distance between them up in the further north Scottsdale, the further north you go. But some people do really like that extra privacy and quiet that it gives you with not having too much traffic or generally just too many people around that area other than those that are living there. Well, thank you guys for joining us for our Scottsdale Map Tour today with myself and Barbara. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out or leave us a comment down below. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, get that bell on to get notified of all our future content, and we'll see you next time.